You know what? I used to think kind of along the lines of most people and think tropical. I always say the prettiest place and the most fun I've ever had in one city was probably San Diego. I do envy Ryan.
SD, baby.
Yeah, beautiful place. I do envy Ryan a bit.
Love it.
I love Vegas as well. But I've been thinking a lot of how the view might look from on top of one of the Swiss Alps lately.
Wow.
That could be fun as well in the right type of environment.
Well, if you own a soccer team, that's how you get out there for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your final answer?
Sure.
Swiss Alps?
I'll go with the Swiss Alps right now. The Swiss Alps.
All right.
The Swiss Alps. Swiss Alps. You got to call self-serves, bro. Call self-serves. You know what I'm saying?
Breaking stereotypes every step of the way.
There we go. Hey, Below the Rim Podcast. Can we get a flush? Ryan, what city do you want your team to be in?
I like Drew's answer for tax purposes. You know, I think that's I think, you know, we're so rich at this point. I think my primary residency will actually be the Cayman Islands, Jordan.
Very good answer. Very good. I filmed a movie there with Nicolas Cage, man. It's a beautiful spot. Very beautiful. Good answer.
Beautiful spot. I don't know how much time I'll spend there. I'd like to, you know, if I own Barcelona or one of those big, you know, big soccer powerhouses, I would live in the city. But yeah, on paper, I would be based out of the Cayman Islands, Jordan.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, Jordan, a friend of mine, you know him as well, worked on that film in the Cayman Islands. Retirement Plan. When is that one dropping? When is that coming up?
Is your boy Dax? Are you talking about Dax? Yeah. Shout out to Dax Ravina. I don't know, man. The producer of that movie is Nicholas Tabarrok. He's one of the producers. He is also the producer of Warrior Strong, and he told me he doesn't know yet when the film's coming out. So as soon as I do, shout outs to the Retirement Plan. Maybe we can put a little graphic of the Retirement Plan, you know, because we're getting promotion out here. Jamal, where would you? Hold on. Did you answer the question?
Okay.
Did you say what city?
He didn't.
I said Cayman Islands.
Oh,
right?
Cayman Islands.
Yeah. So I'll live in the city that I own. You know, the team that I choose to own at this point.
Cayman Islands. Okay, Jamal. What city are you in?
Well, the first question. I'm gonna be a flying coach. I'm gonna. Be,
Samuel Jackson still flies coach. He said that.
The reason for that is just everything is out in the open. I've watched too many movies. I'm gonna play it cool in the back, just like, hey, you know, hey. I'm gonna get the bad service, and then, hey, you know, I like it like that. You know, play under her. Okay.
Wow, great answer. I just don't think you're gonna have. I've flown with you. I don't think you're gonna have $1 billion in the bank, and you're waiting for John and Ted and Sarah to fucking get the bag from the top. You know,
I have to go through the motion. I gotta be like, okay. You know, I'm fed up with this.
Okay, all right.
And
fair
then
enough.
I want to live in. I don't know if it's Sweden or Denmark. They also have free healthcare, and you know, like I think it's like an advanced society. Like they're exactly where the Western society needs to go. They're all about the whole green friendly and all this good stuff, and you know. But yeah, I'll definitely want to run my franchise from there.
Good.
You're saying I'm not gonna be the only brother in the house.
Wait, have you guys ever been skiing or snowboarding?
I have, yeah.
I have been skiing, yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. We gotta break barriers. Here we go.
Back in the day. I would. So what was the questions?
What city would you live in, or what country?
What sport team I would own? We said that, or we already.
In what league? I think it was.
Oh wow! I got America, like I got that. So I'd want to. It would be like a Mediterranean, Northern Africa, Middle Eastern type of area, and it would be like a cricket. I'd own a cricket team.
Okay.
I'd own a cricket team because I can have. It's something different from my everyday North American life, and then I can go see the game, and it's big, make the money, and do, you know, have that introduce cricket to the American side of the world. I don't know. I just think that's it allows me to travel to that kind of exotic, interesting, seventh wonder of the world type of place on the planet. So and then flying, I'd fly chartered. And then what was the other question? What city? No, that was the city. Yeah. So
where would you live? Yeah.
It'd be like Malta, somewhere like that. Malta. Yeah, Malta.
And then I'm just gonna throw this one in there. I know the franchise owners or the league owners aren't allowed to play, but if you could, would you step in and play when you choose to or when you chose to?
Absolutely.
Isn't that what? Was it the president of Russia did that or something? Like he plays in some type of hockey league out there.
Yeah,
and
I'm just gonna
everyone's
put a
afraid to beat
disclaimer out
him.
there. We're not just we're just.
Everyone's afraid to play against him and beat him. He wins all his games, and no one will body check the guy or anything.
I wouldn't want it like that. I wouldn't want it like that. I would want it like that's what I mean. Put on the makeup and like go undercover, play one game, and like undercover bosses.
You guys know I'm a big semi-pro guy, so the chance to be Jackie Moon and step in and play, just whenever I feel like, that's the opportunity of a lifetime right there. I might actually have to probably own a semi-pro team as well as Manchester United. Now that just when I want to feel like playing on that Sunday league, I need to get in there, that semi-pro action.
There you go.
Amazing.
I think that kind of wraps it all up. I think we forgot to talk about Pau Gasol was awarded with the Kobe and Gigi Bryant WNBA Legacy Award. I think that's part of my final thoughts is just knowing that every NBA All-Star weekend, as much as we just kind of take advantage of it or take it for granted, it's like, yo, we grew up on this stuff. Like I remember 2000 when it was February, it was my sister's birthday and Vince Carter. We were all at my mom's house in Rexdale and we were all in the basement. Jamal remembers, and Andrea was there. Everyone, the whole family was there, and we were going crazy. And to think of the full circle moment when Kawhi hit the shot, the 4 times bouncing around the rim shot. I was at my mom's house. We were in the kitchen and we were going crazy. And I remembered that moment. So just shout outs to what sports does and how it allows people to really believe. Because I was like really praying for that for us to win that championship, And that was like real pureness. I remember like winning. I was in a condo downtown. I remember Drew was even downtown, but I was in Toronto filming, and I like went up to a police officer and he like shook my hand, and like we were like celebrating together, and it was just like just knowing that it brings people together. And that's kind of my final thoughts is like, yo, even though Kobe's not here, his memory will always be here and his family will always be protected because and supported and watched for. Just to know that respect is still here. It's like, man, that's what sports really mean. That's my TED Talk.
To the Black Mamba, for sure.
Yeah. No, well said. Couldn't agree more. What sports can do. I guess with my final thought, I kind of have a question that Drew, something you said earlier about it's the Seattle Kraken, is it? Is that the name of the team?
Yeah.
How does an expansion team come about? I guess my final thought is more of a question, but like, how do they just do that?
The way I understand it, it usually starts with a team petitioning to get a city petitioning to get a team. And after a certain amount of votes get passed, then the NHL kind of holds maybe a bidding war. When they have 3 teams that might be in the running, they get like a little bidding war and they let one team come in. Then it's just a matter of when they make the team, every NHL team at the time had to leave one player unprotected on their roster, I believe. Okay. And the Seattle was able to go through all the teams and make up a team of unprotected players. Yeah.
Wow. So they pretty much just got to go through, like, so teams could just be like, essentially they could come and pick like Klay Thompson if they protected Steph Curry.
Well, it would be ridiculous to think of a player that great not being protected on that level of a Klay Thompson, but you'd be surprised that some of the teams didn't protect players that you might have with some pretty good numbers. If you think back to the Vegas Knights, their first year in the NHL, made up of players that any other teams didn't want. They went all the way to the Stanley Cup final.
Wow.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's really cool. I mean,
when
I
you
guess
say
they're doing it right. Like,
when you say player protection, what do you mean? Like, just mean in terms of contract? Like, they can't be like there's a trade clause or something?
Yeah, when there's an expansion draft, every team has the option of, I guess, protecting or making as many players as possible untradeable. But there are a certain amount of players on a roster, and it just comes down to a numbers game. You can't protect them all. So let's just say on average, every team might have had 2 to 3 players that were available at the time of the expansion draft.
Wow. Okay.
No, I appreciate you explaining that. Because I was just wondering, like, how does a team, and then to hear that they're competitive right away, like I feel like the Houston Texans,
that's where
they're the
GM
last,
comes in, right? A good GM really makes their living that way.
Well, that's what happened with Phoenix Suns. That's why they got KD so quickly, is because the new owner, I can't remember the name of the new, I think it's a Bisha. I can't remember, but he was the one that pushed for the trade with Kevin Durant. And I think that's kind of where it needs to be, is like when you have an owner like Mark Cuban or Steve Ballmer, it just puts you in a better place to be a winning franchise.
Absolutely. I like to think when I own my team, people are going to want to play for me, Jordan. I really do.
Jamal, what are your final thoughts, man? Or hold on, Drew, do you want to go to your final thoughts, or should we go to Jamal, or who should we go with?
My final thoughts, I'll just stick to the whole all-star thing. I think the NFL has something going where they just make it a name type of thing. You get the honor of being a Pro Bowl player. The fact that you don't really have to go out there and play a contact game kind of just makes sense to me now. These guys aren't playing defense. I find that if you're out there not playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, it kind of leaves more opening for injuries than it would if you're playing normally. So I think having the first NBA, second NBA team, but not having a game, it's at the point now where we can just name guys all-stars, and they don't really, maybe make a different event that they do, like an arm wrestling contest or
one-on-one. One-on-one.
Wait, that leads into my final thoughts. Hold on.
Okay, there you go. What's your final thoughts, Jamal?
All right, so my final thoughts. I actually was writing this down just for a moment here. All right, let's take out the book here. All right, so my final thoughts. Should a player's pay be determined by their stats, or should it be determined by their contract? That's one of my questions I want to leave the viewers, the listeners, and the panel.
So one more time, say the question one more time.
Okay, should a player's pay be affected by their statistics and their performance and how they play?
Wow. So just so there is like signed $120 million in brackets if they stay above 20 point,
you maintain this
points per game. If they the same way they get bonuses, they can get
exactly
demotions. Wow. Whoa.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
And then second thought here. Now, should an NBA player play another NBA player in the All-Star game, like for charity, 1-versus-1? Or I ask, should the NBA player play one fan?
Ooh.
So some of these fans can get some bragging rights and be like,
wow.
You know what I mean?
I think we need to have a Below the Rim podcast, and those are some great ideas. You've made some inventions, brother? You've made some inventions.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this for some years, man. Like,
you need to patent that shit.
Like,
seriously.
How many people would, like, if you knew that if you buy a ticket to go to the All-Star game, you will be randomly selected to play one of the NBA players who's playing of your choice.
It's like that scene in Space Jam where Michael Jordan is playing and he's like chained up and the kid's just running to the top and scoring like, basket after basket.
He'll sign autographs all day long and play one-on-one with the paying customers. And you'll always lose.
That would be dope, man.
And then I honestly think the players played. I mean, let's say they signed for $100 million contract. They have at least $3 million that could be deducted by their statistics. Nothing too drastic. But I think
right. But it would be more of an incentive. I thought that would be the thing that would get my player to go and didn't, so we cut you. And I think that's or we don't cut you, or we cut your pay. I think that's, and it's kind of what Avery was talking about the last pod, where it's like if you don't play, you sit out, load manage, you don't get the full pay. But there you go. That's football does it too, right? With guaranteed money and stuff like. I think we had a great episode, fellas. I have nothing else to say other than this. I don't know why y'all didn't tell me. We've been ending the podcast saying, like, with that, fellas, what we gonna do? I don't know which motherfucking toilet flushes this high. I don't know why nobody told me this.
It's the old school one.
It's the old school one.
You're right.
So with that, I'm gonna get a modern toilet. You know, where it has you can put more water or less water. And with that, Jordan Johnson Hines signing off.
This is Jamal.
Ryan Poyle.
Andrew Hankson.
And with that, what we gonna do, fellas?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.